comes late pressure right at the middle. Penix backpedals and checks it for McMillan, who gathers it in and is knocked out inside the 5. Penix downfield, and the catch is made by McMillan. Last time, short throw, catch made. McMillan, first down, Washington.
I'm Alex Johnson. This is Yards Per Fantasy, and today we're talking Washington wide receiver Jalen McMillan. We're going to dive into his background and college career, discuss the positives and negatives in his prospect profile, try to determine his dynasty value, and if and where you should target him in your rookie drafts. Jalen McMillan, he's a wide receiver out of Washington. He's a redshirt junior. He's 22 years old. He's listed at 6'1", 197 pounds. Jalen McMillan was a three-sport athlete in high school in Fresno, California. He started football, baseball, and track and field. In fact, he received college offers from both USC and Oklahoma to play both baseball and football. McMillan opted to focus on football, though, earning a 4-star recruiting grade after racking up over 5,000 receiving yards and 54 touchdowns during his high school career. He ranked as the number 8 wide receiver in the nation, and he received offers from 25 schools, including Alabama, Florida, Georgia, LSU, and Ohio State, just to name a few. Jalen McMillan played minimal in his true freshman season, catching just 1 pass in 4 games before taking a redshirt. He earned a more prominent role in 2021 when he led the team with 470 receiving yards on 39 receptions. McMillan continued his ascension in 2022, starting 7 of 13 games and hauling in 79 passes for 1,098 yards and 9 touchdowns. However, due to injury and the improved play of his teammates, Jalen McMillan found himself slipping down the hierarchy of targets in 2023. An early season knee injury forced him to miss 4 games, but he still managed to play in 11 games. He started 7 of those, and he wound up 4th on the team in receptions behind fellow wide receivers Rome Odunze and Jalen Polk, as well as tight end Jack Westover. McMillan ended the season with 45 receptions, 559 receiving yards, and 6 total touchdowns. It was somewhat disappointing after such a promising 2022 campaign. But let's talk about the positives, the things that we like in Jalen McMillan's profile. The first is he has natural hands. He also has alignment versatility. He can line up out wide or in the slot, and he's a good route runner with an extensive route tree. He can run a bunch of routes really well. He's got excellent ball tracking ability as well as body control. He averaged 6.1 receptions per game in 2022, which was his best season. That's a fantastic number. When I look for receptions per game, my threshold for the really elite category is 6. We want to see these guys reach 6 receptions per game. Jalen McMillan did that in 2022. He also had 6 career rush attempts, which included 1 touchdown, and he had 9 career kick returns. I like to see these wide receivers get involved, get the ball in their hands in more ways than just catching passes. It's a great indicator that the coaches have identified this player as one of the team's best playmakers, best athletes. They want to get him the football. It's also an indication of just overall skill and playmaking ability. And Jalen McMillan had an age 20 breakout, which came in his redshirt sophomore season. We'd love to see these guys break out by age 20. 18, 19, and 20 are the good breakout ages. Remember, these guys are still developing as players, as athletes. They're going through the college level workout program still. They're learning the college game still at this age, at this point in their career. And yet they're beating out older players on their own team, and they're having success against opposing players who are older as well. My theory is if you're doing something really well at a young age, you're probably pretty damn good at it, and opens up the ceiling to be even better in the future. On the negative side, Jalen McMillan has a little bit of a slight frame. He's 6'1", 197. We see guys who are a lot skinnier come into the NFL and have great success, so I'm not concerned about this at all. But it does play a little bit of a factor in why he struggles versus physical defenders. He also struggles in contested catch situations, which is the complete opposite of his teammate Jalen Polk, who is one of the best contested catchers in the 2024 class. Jalen McMillan had some focus drops on something he's going to have to clean up in the NFL, and he averaged 1.92 yards per team pass attempt in his best season. That was in 2022. I really want these guys to get a lot closer to the 2.8s, the 2.9s. The elite guys even cross into the 3s in yards per team pass attempt. So this is worrisome from Jalen McMillan. And he had a best season 25.4% dominator rating. Dominator rating tells us how much of the passing offense a wide receiver accounted for. 30% is usually the baseline of good that I look for. McMillan falls short of that, but we do have to factor in that he's playing in an offense that involves Rome Odunze, who's an elite wide receiver prospect in this class, and another really solid wide receiver prospect in Jalen Polk as well. And then we saw the production drop off from 2022 down to 2023. McMillan was ascending. I know he had some injury issues, but he lost some targets to the other wide receivers in the offense from one season to the next. That's a little bit of a concern. What happened? But before we get into my NFL comp and my draft projection for Jalen McMillan, just want to remind you that you don't have to wait until your rookie drafts if you want to get your hands on some Jalen McMillan shares. Underdog Fantasy makes it possible to draft these rookies right now. So go draft some Jalen McMillan, or his teammate Roma Dunze, or Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors. There's some fun prospects to draft today. And when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, make sure you use promo code YARDSPUR. They're going to double your first time deposit up to $100. I'm taking advantage of some of the great values that this rookie class is presenting. So come on, join me and find me in a draft room. For archetype for Jalen McMillan, I have him as a possession wide receiver. For NFL comp, I have yet to come up with one that I feel really good about. So let me know in the comments, do you have a good Jalen McMillan comp that you want to share? And while you're down there, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. In my draft projection, I expect Jalen McMillan to come off the board probably in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. The bottom line is Jalen McMillan is a well-rounded wide receiver with the versatility to play both from the slot and out wide. He has good enough speed to beat defenses vertically, as well as a route running savvy to create separation in the short and intermediate areas of the field as well. McMillan is a proficient route runner who especially thrives against zone coverage, and he runs just about the whole route tree. He may struggle a little bit against press coverage and physical defenders, but he has the strong hands and toughness to make plays over the middle of the field. Jalen McMillan projects as a versatile wide receiver in the NFL who will be at its best from the slot where he can fully maximize his skill set and cover up his weaknesses, but he will certainly kick outside and take snaps as Z as well. This is a pro-ready wide receiver. He's going to factor into a team's wide receiver rotation early on with the upside to develop into a steady starter. He may not have the highest ceiling, but it's really hard to see him not succeed. Some team is likely to identify him as a plug-and-play option and snag him in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. And in Dynasty, he is one of many wide receiver options to consider in the 3rd round of our rookie drafts. If you'd like a safe pick in those rounds, Jalen McMillan might be your guy.